Shout out to all the guys out there in the chat. This is an update here with what's going on with the markets and also kind of a test stream. It's been a minute since I went live over here on this channel. And using OBS, I had to try to set this up and run it over here and see if it would go through. And I wanted to talk about a couple things here real quick in terms of the markets, market condition, overall sentiment. We just witnessed some pretty big sell-offs in terms of the overall stock markets and a big reaction to everything that was going on in the headlines. And you've seen the Dow dump and then the NASDAQ go down. They said that it's now in the bear market. Last time all this happened, the correlation that we witnessed was that there was also a slump in crypto, because you have to understand that in some of those scenarios, the extra money that is coming into crypto, the fresh money, is coming in because these guys are making it elsewhere. If their money's drying up in the stock market and all these other places and sectors, well, that means less money sometimes to be put into places like the crypto market. Now, when you have collapses of certain things and you have certain big stocks start to tank and you have a really grim outlook for the markets like altogether, that's when you can start to see money flowing into different markets like crypto. Now, Apple just signaled a death cross on like the 3-year. Now, that's a sign that there's bad things to come for them and their stocks here for the foreseeable future in terms of what it's going to do. But what we're seeing here in crypto is some volatility coming back. And what we watched today was a couple different things go down. We had witnessed one of these forecasters that tries to come out and always call everything. And when they say something, we always tend to try to do the opposite because they want to head fake everybody. And yeah, MN should have got you modded up there. I'll just have to watch the chat here and see who all's in there. Make sure that we got enough mods at all times. But what they're talking about here is this guy's basically giving up because they've tried to make all these calls and it didn't go the way that they want, especially this guy here, Thomas Lee. He's had ridiculous calls. He's been way off the marker, and he was calling it like it was stock market. That's where you know the guy knew nothing. Anybody come into the game that is traditionally into the stock market, you're going to expect whatever you're in to perform like the stocks in the stock market do, right? To grow for years on end. Well, crypto is not like that. Crypto, as most of you probably witnessed, it ran up, hit the 20,000 marker. It's been in a bear market for now over a year. On the day, a year later to the day of the all-time high, there seems to have been a shift in sentiment, and we've perked up now. And we've jumped up and cracked 4,000. This may be short-lived. There's always waves when you go uphill and then coming back down, the retracements, the pullbacks. But 4,000 is definitely a zone we're going to pay attention to see what happens with it. Now, all these guys making guesses and calls, it's okay to go out there and take a stab at where you think it's going to be. Just, don't be going out there adamantly trying to convince other people of this. You got to leave some wiggle room, so to speak. Especially when they come out with big numbers and they're like, it's this guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed out here in this market. But you see some other big players out here, like Novogratz. He's making calls here on next year being the big run-up. And I foresee this too. 2019 is going to be a big year for all this. Institutional money stepping in. NASDAQ. Let's go over here to this other big headline today. And last night, it was like 24 hours ago or over that, the market started to pump and Bitcoin started to take off, everything started to gain. We wake up today to some of the biggest news in months, where they're saying that lawmakers are looking to change the SEC's 72-year-old securities definition to exclude cryptocurrencies. Now, depending on how all this shapes up, there could be some big things that come out of this. Now, they want to amend the Securities Exchange Act and the structure to that. But if they get away with doing all this, they could really morph this and open the door for institutional money to come in and this whole thing shift. So, in terms of the markets, I'm looking at a few things here. Take a look here at some of the bigger players here. XRP. It's XRP on the 1 day. As always, this is not financial advice. I start showing all these other coins. May or may not be in some of them. Do not believe I'm in either one of these at the moment. Although XRP is our long hold for our private group. For those that don't know, I do have a group over here on Slack. Private group right here that you guys can get in if you want. Hit me up, dabu7yahoo.com. Over here, constantly educating, dropping information. And I'm looking to build this up before the market takes a huge shift and heads north again. Because you don't want to be trying to get in at, 6,000? What if, a couple weeks from now, that's where it's at, over 5,000 or plus, and you could have got in less than 4,000 right now? Because I really do think that we're going to see another pullback. I'm hoping down to at least the 3,700 range. That'll open the window for a decent opportunity. I'm going to go over a few things here, okay? For those of you that may or may not know some of this, I'm just trying to make this a little educational and show you what we're doing over there in the Slack group. This is what you can get constantly in terms of information, updates, market updates, and it's been pretty stale here as of late, but now that things are picking back up, I really think that, bottom has been in. I thought that around 35. I wasn't on the money with it. I didn't hit the 32, whatever, but that was like only on certain sites and exchanges. I was off by a couple $100, but that's better than a couple thousand in terms of finally saying that the bottom's in. And if we get a pullback, you can see here, I've marked this area right here as kind of the golden pocket zone. Now, if you're trying to learn a little bit about crypto and what's going on out here and what we're doing, some of the pointers here, I'll show you a few of the things here in terms of charting that are key. Now, I'm over here on TradingView. The basic TradingView only gives you a few different indicators. I went ahead and had to get the Pro to get more indicators, and also what that allowed is that allowed for me to do a few other things. Me and watchers were down here. If you open up the bottom, you can open up an area called Pine Editor. And what the Pine Editor does, once you've got it open, is it opens up script. And you can go through and you can create script. Let me open one. We'll open up the Heikin-Ashi. I'll just open up this one. Now, the script laid out here is showing all the different stuff that we've got laid out up here in our chart, all the different indicators. And what we've done is we've gone through and we've kind of finagled a few different things to overlay a couple different indicators into one, meaning we bought us more room out here on TradingView. Instead of having like the Heikin-Ashi by itself, we added in like the Ishimoku cloud, and then would throw in maybe something else like RSI attached with it. In this case, that's not what we got. We actually have something else up here that I don't have on. You see, that's my volume profile. I actually don't have the other marker up there either. We have several different indicators, and as you can see on here, this one's firing some buys and sells. What I've been trying to do is get a good bead on if these indicators are actually giving us good signals. And we got to go in and we got to tweak them It's running off the adjusted volume, what the market's doing, and a lot of different factors that are tied into this. But just to give you an example here, this last time, if we would have made a move with a full Bitcoin here at 3480 when it signaled to make a buy, the sell signaled up here, and we went from 3480 to 3730. So, around $250 gain right there in that spread off that signal. I don't think that that's too bad. And you can see that this one down here about the same size. So we've got 1, 2. Technically, you could have skipped this sell and rode that out and just sold up here. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to hit these in channels. This is why I've got this. This is a linear regression channel. And we're trying to hit it in one of the two sides of this channel. You want your signals to fire. Sells up here, buys down here. Okay, you may have some that are off, and you may want to skip them if that's the case. Now, if this channel would have pulled back, it would have been on the line, and it may have been an indicator that you could skip that sell, potentially. These are things we're still trying to hammer out. This is another one. See this sell right here? This sell was in the red, so they could have told you potentially to skip that, so you would have bought in here. That means you would not have had to have bought in here. And then our sells way up here at the top. This is 4,030. So the last one gave us a nice spread of over $300, $340 from this signal to this signal off these gaps. You see? And that's just going off of that. That's not what we're using constantly. This is still something, a work in progress in trying to work this out. But this gives you an idea here of how to chart some of the key things that we're looking at in terms of it and what a few of these things are. You can't really see the Ichi cloud too much because it's behind this linear track here. But you'll notice that this cell and this arrow up here is actually in the top path in this top channel. With that up there in that top channel, that could be one that you would want to take on a sell right there. So what we'll do is we'll continue to watch this, and you can break this down to lower indicators, but the lower you go in the indicators, the more choppy everything gets, and it's not as precise. You can see here we had on a 15-minute a buy here and a sell here. That was a good one, but we had a choppy one here, a buy, and then a turnaround quick sell. But it's good that it fired that, because if not, it was dropping off and it still hasn't recovered back up to there where it was. So what I'm also looking at here on the side is volume profile. This is showing you pretty much where all the support is in terms of buy and sell. The buy is going to be the blue on the inside here, and then on the outside you're going to have the sell. So that's an indicator of where that volume stacked up. Now right now we're stopping right here. Now look where that's at. We're stopping right there where this is the thickest. If we break through that, it has a chance to run again and go back up here and test this top location. That I'll go ahead and I'll draw all this on out, since we've got a couple lines here converging, starting to converge. And I'll watch this whole thing here as a wedge starts to form. And so far it's been bullish. I mean, the tide's turning. We've just came through a huge bear market, so we're going to have to adjust to things turning and starting to head uphill. It's not going to be, like that, but there's definitely a switch in how you have got to perceive things. Your best of luck stocks have destroyed me over the last months. Yeah, I understand that stocks have been hit, especially, all the way up to today. And, of course, crypto and the rest of the markets have been in a bear market for the past year. So I think in terms of the crypto markets, there is relief here. One thing's for sure, there's a hell of a lot of volatility. A lot. And that's where money's to be made, man. All these buys and sells, I don't care if it's 5%. Stop and think about that. What if you can get 5% of your $1,000 every day and do that every day? You see? That's the mentality that we're trying to come at this with. If we could take $1,000 and gain 5%, 10% of that per day, that's huge. And it's happening out here. These opportunities are here to be had. So I just wanted to do this quick live stream, get it kicked out there, test this channel, get an update going, go over a few things here, give a shout out, and let folks know that you can find us over here in the Slack group, over there daily. I'm also over here on Twitter. I've got a group here of 500 members, cryptos. You can see right there. It's a list I've worked on the whole past year of the top 500 people. I've put people in. I'm removing people. And only got 17 people following. And that's free and it's open over there on Twitter. There is a 1.5 Litecoin charge, around $50 charge for the Slack group, but it's, in my opinion, worth it all day long. For a whole year, get you in the group. You get in there, you get all the information we've got in terms of all the intro vids, market news, signals, all that. And you got a good team of people there that are growing with us. And I'm ready for this next run. I don't know about you. I'm ready. I really feel like it's here right around the corner. So, gonna shut this stream down, guys. Looks like everything checked out here. Tomorrow night, gonna be on the main channel, Dabu77, for Underground World News Live at 9 p.m. in adjusted time for Friday night. And we'll be looking to test this setup over there as well. So, stay tuned for more. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like it. And if you're on TradingView, also check me out over here, Dabu7 on TradingView. I'm kicking out certain stuff over here. It says like my ideas here. Got all kinds of different ideas. I pop off exclusively on TradingView, and I share all that with, for the most part, as much as I can with everybody in the Slack group. And can't stress enough, that's where most of my activity is in the Slack group. And it's to the moon from here. Yeah. So much love, y'all. Dabu7 from the Crypto Kings. Signing off.